Hello, everyone. Welcome. Happy Saturday, March 28th. This is our 10th yoga session together. So thank you, everybody who has been very supportive and encouraging through this very interesting time. Yogi is here with us. Yodi is here with us. A little bit of rain in Blueberry this evening. So I thought we would go in for a nice deep yin, buddy, a nice deep, authentic yin class today. So this will be about 45-minute physical practice. And then I've heard there's a howl happening at 7 p.m. Now I realize that's 7 p.m. in my time zone. But I'll try to finish around 7 p.m. Or if you do hear shouts in your Shavasana, maybe you could echo yourself that way. So again, just a reminder that this is an adult yin practice. Children who are not fully grown, whose bones are not fully ossified, should not be holding the positions. As I speak, come into your regular breath and just let that normal pace enter your body, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Just letting that natural rhythm come into the body. And breathing. Every breath, the body becomes lighter, softer, and more relaxed on a deeper level. We're going to need just a few props in this class, but primarily a blanket, the block as well, or whatever you may need for yourself, but a blanket because we will come into a longer Shavasana at the end. And in the longer Shavasana, we'll come into a bit of a Yoga Nidra, and again, this is from the very wonderful Yoga Publications Trust. I'm not selling anything, it's just very ancient texts that have come together in a beautiful compilation. So continuing to breathe very deeply, let that breath drop down. The diaphragm expands, focusing for the next 5 breaths, just that diaphragmic breathing. Visualize the belly button extending outward and being drawn back as though it could touch the spine. So that's that sensation you want to get. Very active muscle movement here. Now for your next 5 breaths, continue with that deep diaphragmic belly, balloon in the belly, getting bigger and bigger, but extend that into the ribs. So imagine the ribs barreling outward, those intercostal muscles, finding space between the two. So a nice deeper breath now. So breathing into the lower diaphragm. And then feeling the barreling out of the ribs as you're continuing to inhale and exhale. Let that wave fall just as it came in. So letting the ribs collapse and the diaphragm as well. For the next few breaths, keep that same rhythm. Shoulders should be down. You don't want to have your shoulders lifting and shrugging and upward movement. Always down, shoulder blades moving along the spine. And now for the next 5 breaths, continuing with those 2 spaces and moving into the chest and clavicular, thoracic, and facial region, filling in all those pockets. A lot of regions or cavities within the face. So just find those places for the next 5 breaths. Deep into the belly, barreling outward to the ribs and lifting high into the thoracic, facial, and even in the crown of the head, starting to develop a bit of a tingling sensation. And continue here. A wave of oxygen, freshly oxygenated blood moving through your body, increasing the prana, the life force, the chi, And of course, if at any time during the practice you need to adjust your feet, please do so. Sit against the wall if you get tired in the back. And of course, you can always stick a block or a pillow straight under your hips, and that'll help to lift, and you'll immediately feel a bit of a relaxation. So if you have knee problems, that's something that can help. Whatever props you may need, I am your guide. Your body is your teacher. Listen to your body. Find your places of comfort. And breathe. You may want to set an intention for yourself, for the practice, for the class, for the rest of the day, for this shift we are going through. And if you find your mind wandering during the practice, coming back to your belly, coming back to your breath, coming back to your intention. And when you're ready on your next exhale, it's dropping the hands down and inhale, arms up. Nice and tall, eyes of the elbows opening, tips of the fingers touching, and exhaling down. Nice and slow. We'll do 3 breaths like this. Just taking a moment to connect the body with the breath. It is the thing that keeps us alive. Allow the two to meet. Allow your body to slow down. Allow them to act from one force with one aim. And notice how much more powerful everything becomes. How much more relaxed, how much more meaningful. And on your third one, inhaling up, touching the tips of the fingers. And now let's bend the elbows and grabbing the elbows, if you're able, into each arm. Continuing to lift nice and high, pressing the shoulders down. Starting to feel that tightness, or wherever you might feel space required. Keeping the shoulders down, heart is opening, chest is lifting. On your next exhale, let's come down to one side. And if it is a bit tight, you can let go as well. You can just kind of hang on to one and pull one down. Whichever position you find yourself, keep your shoulders open. Exhale, release the elbow, tips of the fingers coming onto the neck. Let the opposite arm fall down. And once you've grounded your fingers or your palm, chin into the chest, nodding deeply, we'll do this traditional warm-up before we come into our yin positions. And continuing a little bit further down the opposite side. A few breaths here, keeping the legs relaxed. And exhaling down. It's basically those 4 regions of the spine that need to be moved in 3 different directions every day. And as long as we do that, we are getting the core movement within our spine. On your next inhale, coming up all the way, bring the elbows together again, or rather the hands to the elbows. Just give a little bit of a pull. And on your next exhale, quiet bear. Sorry, everybody. It's not nice, is it? There's wild turkeys outside. I can hear them gobbling. And let's release that elbow. Bring the fingers to the temple and continue. You know what to do. I'm going to let that boy outside. Oh, monkey. Hmm. When you're ready, coming into a little bit of a twist, and one breath here, and inhaling, unraveling, coming back to center, arms out to the side, releasing downward, interlace the fingers, lifting shoulders down, and coming into our forward fold. And this is a wonderful place to have a block if you're not able to, or you're not comfortable coming all the way down without your hips lifting or getting a little bit twisted. Have a block here. You can have a couple of blocks, a pillow, a bolster. That pressure on the crown, very relaxing. And hold this for about 5 deep breaths. Our first forward fold, not a yin position per se, but still activating the fascia, which is what we're really focusing on. On your next inhale, lifting, drop the hands behind you, lift the hips, drop the knees down, chin into the chest, just a bit of a counter push, counter stretch. You can wiggle the hips a little bit or whatever you might need. They might find themselves popping here or finding a bit of tightness around the joints and the sinew. Just allow them to naturally work their way out. So you may need to kind of move into a little bit more gently or from another angle. And exhaling down and opening both legs up nice and wide. And this will be our first yin position. So if you need the props or you'd like to get them close to you, do prepare them. We're going to hold this first position for 2 minutes. So as we inhale, arms up, shoulders down, eyes at the elbows open, touching the tips of the fingers. And with a nice straight back, exhale. And remember, the legs are active, pushing the knees into the ground, coming all the way forward. If there's a block or a bolster here, you can put something under your chest and pillow as well. And exhale, coming down. We're going to hold this for 2 minutes. Find yourself at 70% of your complete full capacity. And let time and gravity and stillness draw your body down. In your forward fold, focusing on the upper back quadrants of the lungs, relaxing your shoulders. It's about 1 minute in this pose, so just respecting the time. We'll stay here for the exact amount longer. Feel the difference in your body after such a short effort. And indeed, what effort is happening except succumbing to the weight of the gravity in the forward fold? Any forward fold, form of Paschimottanasana, one of the top 4 positions in any of the varieties of yoga, whether you're practicing Hatha and Ashtanga, or Patanjali's more traditional sutras and compilations of these very ancient practices. And no matter what your body looks like, focus on the sensation of feeling. Focus on the experience within the body. As I have said, as long as you are breathing, you are in yoga. As long as you are slow, steady, comfortable, you are doing yoga. And according to Patanjali, he defined yoga as the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. For indeed, yoga is not a physical practice, it is a breathing practice, preparing the body for stillness, for long periods of sitting, and breathing to attain those higher states of consciousness. Taking another deep breath here. And when you're ready, slowly rolling the body up. Keep the chin into the chest, rolling the hips backward. Let the hands sort of float up the legs. Sitting nice and tall. And just take a minute to feel the effects of that one singular posture. We'll come into a bit of a counter pose before we do our next forward bend. Here, if you have sore wrists, you're welcome to come down onto your forearms. But if your wrists are okay, let's bring them behind us. Put a bit of a stretch into the wrist, of course. You can even flip the hands around if you'd like to give a bit of a dual motion to them before we come up. Otherwise, the feet are pointing forward, fingers pointing in the same direction, thighs and femurs parallel. On your next inhale, let's lift the bum, keep the chin tucked into the chest, staying nice and straight in the back of the body, pushing into the hands, and exhaling downward. We'll do that 3 times. Of course, there are several variations to this. Inhaling up. We'll hold this one for a little bit longer. If we were doing this towards the end of our practice, we'd use this to come into our shoulder stands, but since we're doing it at the beginning, exhaling, coming down, we'll just use it as a bit of a counter stretch. And one last time, holding it now for a little bit longer. So try maybe for 3 deep breaths, chin into the chest, pushing into the feet, pushing into the hands. Imagine someone's having a cup of tea and putting it on your belly, and it's staying there nice and stable. Breathing. And on your next exhale, slowly lowering down. Feel that shift in the temperature. And let's begin our next forward fold. So bringing the left heel in nice and tight. A variety of positions here. So far, we've only really talked about keeping the heel close to the groin or sitting on it a slight bit so you can activate your perineal gland and all of the other creative activity that's happening in the root chakras. You can also bring your foot, of course, into a half lotus position. And here you can use your strap, or if you're quite flexible, you can come around and have your hand grasping here. That's a nice position to do as well, whichever you find yourself in. Torso and belly will be facing forward over the straight leg. Inhale, arms up, shoulders down, and forward fold with a nice straight back, reaching forward as much as you can, the heart leading the way. Once you have reached your edge, exhale, coming downward, and we're going to hold this for 1 minute on either side. So really get into your sensation of that submission, that acceptance. Indeed, the emotion of surrender is associated with this pose. And as we have discussed, surrender is not a giving up. It is a letting go, cessation of the control, of the attempt to navigate, and really allowing you to operate from a higher self and coming from that decision-making and sensory place that is much beyond your mind. You are getting deep into the experience of the body, activating the wisdom of the body. Taking another few deep breaths here. We're coming up to that 60-second point. And again, if you'd like to hold any of these longer, you are absolutely welcome. Pause the video if you're listening to the recording, or just catch up with us in your own time if you're here with me live. On your next inhale, rolling the hips back, keeping the head heavy, chin tucked tight, and inhaling up. Good. And we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So you'll notice today's practice is a little bit more of a hatha style. We're not doing that vinyasa yin type flow. we're going immediately right, left, rather than flowing through. So again, adjust your foot as you are comfortable, whether you're tucked into the heel, sitting at activating the perineum, or up into a half lotus position. Both sides of the body will have different needs. Don't expect them to be the same. Don't judge them or treat them to be the same. Give them what they need. This is equity in the body. Inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, and with a nice straight back, leaning forward with the heart. And once you've found your edge, coming down. And again, we'll hold for 1 minute. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Relaxed but active, toes of the straight leg drawing back towards you, heel moving away from you, back of the knee pushing down into the ground. Feeling the side body expanding, feeling the balloon in the belly, taking space, not compromising. We fold, we twist, we bend. We do all of these things so we do not break. Allowing the breath to reclaim territory in the body, taking one more deep breath here. And on your next inhale, rolling up. Chin and head is the last thing to come up. Wonderful. And butterfly. Soles together. Bouncing the legs, sitting up nice and tall. And breathing. If you master your breath, you master the universe. The breath is the key to entering any level beyond where you are now. Learning to slow down is essential. So today we're going to go very, very slowly. Again, because I know so many of us are working on computers these days and hunched over for far too many hours. We're going to come into a back opener. So we've done this several times already. You may now feel that you like one area more than the others, whether it's in the between the shoulder blades, sort of at the back of the heart center, or indeed at the lower back in that sacrum area. You may even want to, it is sort of doing something a little bit different, but just to kind of put your blocks under the knees and lay back. Whatever you feel like doing. If none of those are comfortable, put your posterior, votre derrière, just beside the wall, and lean back, coming into a nice wall position. And here you can let the legs come out, put them into a butterfly, whatever you feel comfortable. Let this practice be very personal for you. Me, I will put behind my shoulder blades, and if you're using a block, different levels. Listen to your body. It might not be the same today as it was yesterday. Your feet can stay in butterfly. If that feels a bit awkward, straighten them out, either together or separated. Or if you really feel a bit of tension in the lower back, put a pillow or bolster or roller or whatever you have nearby underneath, and just let the body completely fall into this position. Okay, and again, we're going to hold this for 2 minutes. So starting from now, slowly exhale, leaning back. Find your place of comfort. If it is between the shoulder blades, make sure that you are able to Maybe get a bit of a squeeze if you want another block to relax your head if you've got any neck issues. And we're going to hold here, letting go completely for 2 whole minutes. Focus on your breath. Scanning through your body, noticing any places of tightness or tension. Feel those different areas where the breath travels to the diaphragm, to the ribs, the intercostal muscles, the thoracic and clavicular regions, into your face, your cranium, your skull, your scalp. Your eyeballs have pockets of air which can be filled with the breath. And if you are a scuba diver, you will know what I'm talking about. It's about 1 minute in this position. We'll hold for 1 minute longer. If at any time you feel pain or discomfort, come out of the pose, come into a child's position, or lie comfortably. The Anahata Chakra, the heart center, it's very active in so many people these days, and they say that the human race, according to yoga tradition, is evolving through the chakra system, and we're somehow stuck between the heart and the throat. That heart, of course, being that sensory area of, well, sensation, of feeling, of emotion, and the throat being more associated with identity and voice and change. So as you feel this energy, taking the last few breaths here, as a conscious global shift is happening as we speak and as we breathe, visualize that shift coming from the heart and ascending upward into the throat chakra, and let that vibration just hang out around your glottis. And on your next inhale, very gently using your elbows. You can use your hands to draw the head upward if you like as well. Bringing the elbows onto the ground, removing the block, bringing everything out. And we're simply going to lay down, bringing the legs in, and just give a bit of a massage on that place where you were holding the block. So either up and down, side to side, and it can be wildly strong, coming up and down all the way. You can come into a Paschimottanasana and into a Halasana. Whichever form of movement your body prefers, use this as an opportunity to listen to that rather than listening to me. Just know that our aim is to massage the back. However that best suits you is exactly what you should do. Now on your next inhale, we're going to come up with a bit of force and up into a squatted position. So inhaling up, just move myself around here. So I'm back in your peripheral view. We're not going to stay here for much time. This is a little bit too yang for our practice tonight. But let's just stretch out the toes while we're here. Maybe do a couple of just like heel, tilt forwards. Good. And if that's extremely painful, of course, don't do it. Coming down onto the front of the feet. We are going to hold this position for a little bit of time. So if you're comfortable here, this is Vajrasana. Beautiful thunderbolt position. You're locking the circulation into the core of the body, focusing on digestion and the health of the internal organs. If you'd like to take that to the next level, just slightly lean back. So you're getting those same benefits but also with the ankle stretch, the bit of the balance. And any balancing position, of course, is a task for the mind. It improves focus, concentration. Now, if you would also like to do something with your upper body, unless you're holding yourself in any some way, let's bring a reverse prayer into that. So again, you can use the strap, and if this is not accessible, find your path that is available today. So on your next inhale, lifting and exhaling down, starting with the hands, palms together, facing downward, and then slowly start to bring them upwards and trying to keep them together and come up as high as you can, keeping the palms together. So by doing so, of course, we're opening the front of the chest, releasing any tension in the shoulders, and don't forget about your stance. If you'd like to stay in an ankle stretch, finding balance here, and breathe. Exhaling, coming forward. We won't hold that for too long. We're going to come into a child's position. So walking the hands forward. You might want to open your legs, maybe not too wide, maybe shoulder width apart, unless you feel like very comfortable. Hip stretch is in order. Once you're down, simply walk the hands forward. Again, let your body fall into this position. Don't force it. Whatever happens, happens. We're going to hold this again for 2 minutes. So starting now, coming into this at 70%. In any forward bend, focusing on the upper back quadrants of the lungs. Feeling that wave of breath rolling along the spine, through the lungs, expanding the ribs. With every breath, let your belly drop deeper between the thighs. Relaxed but active, pushing the palms into the ground, focusing on that first knuckle. Even in this position, we can pop right up into a handstand if we wanted to. Just waiting. On your next inhale, or stay here for as long as you damn well please. And when you're ready, we're going to come up with a nice round back. So again, pushing into the hands, into that first knuckle. Nice deep breath, round back, and shifting the weight forward. We'll bring the knees in just a touch. Walk the hands forward. Probably just one palm's width will be enough. And let the hips fall down. Oh, yeah. Now here, adjust yourself according to yourself, whether you're in a deeper or a more shallow cobra position. Tips of the toes should be touching. You should not have your toes curled under. We're not going to come up into a downward dog, or we're not doing Surya Namaskar or any type of vinyasa. We're just stretching out the front body and putting some pressure on that lower spine. And breathe into this position. Again, there's a million varieties. Your hands can take any position, whether they're a little bit further out a little bit further out to the side, wherever you feel comfortable, but keep that weight in the first knuckle and breathe. We will not hold this for too much time, but this is a valid yin position. And by now, even after about 20 seconds, you'll probably start to feel a little bit funny around the lower back. You may feel that the blood is really starting to build up. You may start to feel sensations happening around your root chakra. The different pressures combined with the breath, combined with intention, combined with oxygenated blood flow can have very powerful chemistry within the body. Now we're going to walk the hands out if you are quite deep, just a little bit further, and come into a shoulder stretch. So let's bring the left hand to the center, or rather start with the left. So right hand to the center of the mat, lifting the left arm, exhale, looping it through, palm should be facing upwards, stretch it out as far as you can, and then exhaling down, feel that shoulder stretch, oh yeah. You turn your head to look in the opposite direction. The opposite arm can reach forward if you like, or just kind of hang out here, no pressure. We are going to hold this for 1 minute. So breathing here. Shoulders and hips, that's the culprit. Those are the places where our dense connective tissue attracts stress, tension, and generally our negative experiences of our lives tend to glue themselves into this deep sense of who we are. So we've got to get into those places to let go of those paradigms, those structures, those whatever may have brought you there. On your next inhale, let's come up. Right hand pushes down and switching to the left hand. So opposite arm lift and exhale, looping it through. As it loops through, the palm is upward and exhaling, turning to the opposite side and breathing here. And again, we'll hold this for 1 minute. Feeling the movement in the body with the ascension and descension of the breath. Just imagine now your whole entire body is a balloon, and with every breath you are lifting, floating, fluttering away. Light as a feather, thin as a ghost. Flailing off in the wind we go. Taking another deep breath here. And when you're ready, inhaling, coming back up, bringing both arms back down, and let's walk the hands out all the way. And imagine someone's pulling your hands and pulling your toes, so kind of give yourself a full body stretch. We're not going to lift or do any kind of yang type of activity, but there's a lot of different like swimming and movement and all kinds of really good ab work you can do here. Really good ab work, but also really good lower back work. So a lot of people will really complain about having, lacking muscle or not having any core strength. But don't forget, that core has a back. So focusing on the back body as well can really help with a lot of abdominal issues that you may be having. I'm going to stay here just for a moment to breathe. And when you're ready, we're simply going to roll over onto our backs. So however you do that, make it nice and relaxing. Coming back, and once you're here, let's take the left leg and cross it over. Immediately we'll come into our reverse figure 4 position. If you want it a bit more active, keep your head up, a bit more relaxed, keep it down. We will hold this again for 1 minute. So find your edge. Your edge is the place that you feel is about 70% of your full capacity. This is the place where your consciousness needs to be walking. Walk along that edge, because the next time you come here, your edge will have extended itself just a millimeter. But a millimeter in the body is a mile in the mind. Create space and reclaim those places in the body that you may have unknowingly surrendered at some point. Doesn't matter. Take it back. Now we're going to move through a bit of a transition here. We're not going to stay in these 2 next positions for any length of time, but just to get a bit of the flow. So inhale, arms out to the side, and exhale, drop that leg back down, and then bring the sole of the crossed leg foot down to the ground. But don't come into a full spinal twist yet. You want to keep your femur having that external rotation. Keep the knee moving away from you and feel that opening in your groin area and the hamstrings. And this stretch particularly targets the IT band, which is that teeny tiny little small muscle in the back of the thigh, and very subtle but very effective. If you're not feeling this, send me a message and I can kind of walk you through it, because there's a few different subtle movements you can change to really get it. The toes should be pointing downward away from the head, the knee moving away from you, and again, always aiming for the hips and shoulders to be flat on the ground. On your next exhale, let's just come into the twist by dropping the knee down. If you'd like to clasp onto the side of the knee or binding the bottom leg, however you would like to come into the deeper pose, or just kind of let yourself hang here midair. Your leg might not even be touching the ground, nor your arm, but that's okay. That's your edge. Why would you go to someone else's edge? There's nothing there for you. Find your edge. Walk along that place with your mind, for your mind is not between the ears, it is within every cell of your body. Activate your mind. Activate your instinct. On your next inhale, unravel your spine, unravel your twist, and crossing over. Same thing on the opposite side, so looping the hands through. Variety of positions here as well. Find one that works for you. Ideally, we want to be still. The key to yin is time and stillness. And the combination of those two along our edge will deepen our physical experience and improve the quality of our life after one session. And of course, if you go to the gym or to a yoga class once, those effects will not last forever. But if you come back again and again and you develop that into not only a physical but a neurological habit, your body will start to crave the release of the hyaluronic acid and from the joints, which is what happens after we've been holding these positions after about 45 seconds or so. On your next exhale, releasing the arms out to the side, dropping the soles only. Keeping the knee open. Toes of both feet are pointing downwards, really keeping that external rotation of the femur. And breathing here, relax the upper body.
Starting to bring your awareness into the lower back, because as we twist, this twist is targeting that opening of that lower back, the sacrum region, the seat of the Kundalini energy. When you're ready, exhaling, continuing to fold over, binding or hanging on wherever you feel you would like, or again, just hanging out mid-air. This will be our last position before we come into our long Shavasana. So enjoy this deep stretch. Bringing your awareness to the lower back. Turning your head to the opposite direction, getting the full effects of the spinal twist on all 4 lumbar regions of the spine. And remember, do not compromise your breath when you're twisting or when someone is twisting you. Keep your breath deep. Keep your inner ninja. And when you're ready, let's release that twist, allowing yourself to come back onto your spine and into a Shavasana position. So closing your eyes, keeping your feet open at a comfortable distance, feet flailing outward, palms upward, facing the sky, arms a few inches away from the body. Breathe here. Now, because we will be here a little bit longer, you may want to, again, put something under the knee. Once you do that, you will immediately feel that space in the small of the back start to press down a little bit more. That will also help to relax the hips and relax any tension in the abdominal muscles. And just let the energy flow a little bit more comfortably. As you stay in this position, I will guide you through a full body visualization followed by a Yoga Nidra meditation. So continuing to breathe very deeply, lying in Shavasana, your body stretched out. Make all the adjustments necessary so that you may be comfortable as possible for the next 10 minutes. And try to find stillness. As we prepare to experience Yoga Nidra, Yoga Nidra is defined as the psychic sleep. You only have to maintain the awareness of hearing my voice. Whatever is happening in your body, let it go. The body sleeps, but the mind remains awake. You must remain alert as my voice travels through your body. So tell yourself now, silently, I will not sleep. I will not sleep. Take a deep breath, and as you inhale, feel the coolness of the air. And as you exhale, feel the slight increase of the temperature as that chemical reaction of your body warming the body has happened so quickly, so easily, so naturally. As you breathe out, feel your cares and your worries flowing out of you, dropping away. They are not yours. Nor pain nor pleasure belongs within this body. Let it go. Become aware of your body and relax yourself completely. Make yourself physically calm and steady. Feel that your legs are relaxed, the trunk, the head, the arms, the hands. Develop the awareness of your physical body, right from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. A complete awareness of the whole body. Relax your breathing. Develop an awareness of your natural breath without force, without expectation. Become the observer of your body as you feel the balloon in your belly lifting, the barrel of your ribs expanding, the space in your face filling with freshly oxygenated blood and breath. Now leave your breathing and become aware that you are going to practice Yoga Nidra. At this time, develop an intention. What is it that you have wanted? What is it that you are needing? What is it that you have been trying to get? Keep this simple thought in one simple sentence at the forefront of your mind as you continue to breathe that intention through the body, developing an awareness of the parts of the body. Your consciousness is moving around the body, and as it moves, it changes into prana. Your breath is now vital energy flowing through each limb in the form of a current of energy. Do not concentrate on any one part, just let it naturally find the spaces. Let your mind jump freely from one part to the next, from the right hand, thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, the entire palm of the right side, the back of the hand, the wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, waist, hip, right thigh, kneecap, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of your right foot, the top of your right foot, the right toes, feeling the entire side, the right side of the body completely relaxing, observing any sensation. And now bringing your awareness to the left hand thumb, the second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, the palm of the left hand, the back of the hand, the wrist, the lower arm, the elbow, the upper arm, the shoulder, the armpit, the waist, the hip, the left thigh, the kneecap, calf muscle, the ankle, the heel, the sole, the top of the left foot, the toes of the left foot. The entire left side of your body is completely relaxed. Now allow your mind to rotate to the entire back of the body, going from the back of the head where it touches the floor, to the back of the right shoulder blade and the left. The whole spine going downwards as you breathe and upwards as you inhale, following your breath, following your body. And now allow the mind and your consciousness to come to the entire front side of the body. Go to the front of the top of the head and down the forehead, through the eyelids, the face, the right eyebrow, the left eyebrow, the space between the eyebrows, the Ajna chakra, the right eyelid, the left eyelid. Continuing to breathe very deeply, continuing to breathe very deeply into your entire front of the body, to the right collarbone, the left collarbone, the right chest, the left chest, the middle of the chest, and the navel. And allow your consciousness to sit at the navel as you lift your belly and allow the belly to drop. With your mind in your belly, bring awareness to your internal organs.
And again, allow that prana, that vital life force, to flow into each section of your body. As you continue to breathe, counting backwards from 12 until 1 with every inhale. And when you come down to 0, I will meet you there. If you lose count at any point, come back to your breath, come back to your count, and start again. If, of course, you would like to pause or continue to stay here, or if you would like a longer count, you are welcome to do so. Otherwise, continue to breathe deeply, listening to my breath, and bring a sensation of heaviness into your body. Awaken the experience of heaviness moving through the whole body. Become aware of heaviness in each part of the body. As you continue to breathe, allow a sensation of lightness to come into the body. Manifest a sensation of lightness and airlessness moving through the entire body. The lightness of the body can be developed by the feeling of the meeting points between the body and the floor. So try to develop a sensation of oxygen separating you, lifting you from where you connect your body to the floor. Feeling yourself floating upward. Concentrate on this area. And as you inhale, the body is so light that you are floating upward towards the ceiling, drifting back and forth, coming up and down. As you continue to breathe, allow a sensation of pain to come across the body, and all the experience of pain you've ever had in your life, head pain, stomach pain, any physical or mental pain, allow it to come to the surface. And as you exhale with force, let it go. You may even want to bring a bit of a sigh into this exhale, such as a very heavy, deep, letting go, surrendering, deepening your awareness of that intensity. And now as you continue to breathe, allow a sensation of pleasure to come into the body, and try to recollect all of the experiences of physical, spiritual, mental pleasure you have ever had. All of the senses of touch, smell, taste, hearing, or sight. Allow all of those to accumulate into an ecstatic experience in your body. And as you continue to breathe very deeply, staying here for as long as you want, otherwise beginning to bring an awareness into the body, keeping the eyes closed, belly soft, heart relaxed. Very gently begin to wiggle the fingers and gently begin to wiggle the toes, turning the head to the left and the right. On your next inhale, stretching the side body, and then bring the feet and the thighs up into the chest, rocking side to side.
Coming over onto the right side, taking a moment to thank all of those who have helped you to become who you are today, taking a moment to send your energy to all of the hurting and healing amongst us. Smile, releasing what you need for yourself, continuing to be the best superhero version of yourself that you can be. And when you're ready, inhaling, coming up. And it is 7 o'clock PST, so if you do hear howling outside, please join them. Otherwise, please join me by chanting Om together 3 times. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Atma Namaste. May the light within my soul greet the light within your souls. May I remind you, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the emotion, you are the light, you are the energy that is, was, and always will be. Now get outside and howl.